This is HQ here again. Uh, Back at it for the wife code with HQ. A session here we got. Uh, just some information as always. The name of the subject is why would you expect a marriage to be perfect? Or don't expect it to be perfect because it won't be perfect. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. You hear me well. Hopefully, I fixed the sound problem, right? Hopefully, I fixed the sound problem. Okay? Now, why are marital expectations first? Why are marital expectations out of whack with reality? Marital expectations are often out of whack because people have their idea of what a relationship is, and sometimes it's like weirdly thought out or how their brain can only function to make it reasonable, right? Okay, a lot of times people get their information from TV and social media and whatnot. If you come in the building, let me know if you can hear me very well. Just say yes in the chat. If you can hear me very well, say yes in the chat. Because I had sound issues yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that I sound okay. Give me a yes if I sound okay. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so why are marriage expectations out of whack? This is the first point we'll address. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. Um, because of social media, TV, social media, books, they present a idealized version of what marriage is. Okay, and they focus on the romance. They focus on the chemistry, the passion, the fairy tale ending of it all, which can lead a lot of people into believing that marriage is like a fairy tale and it's not really real, or it's not really into the nuts and bolts of what a marriage really can be. That's half of the problem. Communication gaps. This is out of whack. A lot of couples come into marriage without fully discussing their expectations of what a marriage is supposed to be, what values they have, the goals they have, and it leads to a lot of misunderstandings and fights and unmet needs during the time in which they're married. The roles of marriage change. People think of traditional roles as this, boom. And that's all they think of traditional roles as being. They don't think of the traditional roles as being fluid. Traditional roles within a marriage is evolving, forever evolving. Okay? The responsibilities, the finances, the emotional support, they can differ from person to person. So when you say traditional marriage, people, you have to talk to the person that you're involved with and see what they mean and what they expect out of a traditional marital role, because they may be different. May be based on something that is not even true, right? You also have a lot of people who get you have expectations outside of expectations, I guess. Family, friends, the Bible. A lot of people, you know, base a lot of things on the Bible, and then they get disappointed because that's not how marriage actually works, being based on the Bible. Yeah, sure, we have the principles and all of that that you follow in the Bible, but that's not how people act in real life. People come with their own expectations about what marriage could and should look like, and it can conflict with the Bible. It can conflict with what you think. Okay, people have to have their own unique dynamic and desires in a relationship. You cannot base it on a book, or you cannot base it on other people's expectations. Another reason why marriage things are out of whack is because people don't prepare to be married. See, before I got married, I read books about how to be married. I read books about how to treat your partner. But then again, I'm kind of different because I was a social worker and I went to school to understand how people thought and think, and I had a master's degree. I have a master's degree in communication, and I learned why people said the things that they did and wanted to say, right? So I kind of had a little bit of in-depth knowledge of why people did and said the things they said. So therefore, I was a little bit more prepared for when I got married, okay? A lot of people lack the preparation for being married. Many people don't receive education or guidance, talk to a pastor on what to expect in a marriage. And a lot of people are surprised about the challenges and the strains that can come on a relationship. I mean, even I could be surprised in the marriage, and I was, right? Because I didn't think my husband was a traditional person, and he was to a certain extent, but he wasn't, which kind of surprised me that he was, because he was a very modern human being, right? Another reason why I've heard that people might have a different viewpoint of being married is that the real life challenges are not like you read in a book. Stuff like how finances or how someone being poor can put a strain on a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what it's like. I always thought this. Why would I need to be with someone if I'm walking and I don't have a car and it's two of us? Issues like being poor and being married just didn't compute in my head. I'm like, wait a minute, it's two of y'all. Why the hell are we poor? Shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a fully grown functioning man over here. Why would you be poor if he can go out and work and you can go out and work? So I'm saying the real life challenges of marriage and relationships surprise people. Financial strains, work life, who gonna go get the kids if something happened with the kids, who gonna get off the job if something happened with the kids. These things are portrayed as marriage is very romanticized, and it's really a nuts and bolts type deal, right? But you got to address these expectations before you get married. You got to be able to communicate and say, damn, which one of us is going to be the one to pick the kids up if one of the kids gets sick? My thought process was whoever make the most money is the one that stay on the job, and the one who make the less money is the one who go get the kids. But you don't know that until you in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? And I just had so many expectations about being married, okay? And I was like, wait a minute, it ain't gonna be perfect. The marriage can't be perfect, right? So I was like, why isn't marriage perfect? And this was the name of this little session. Why is marriage not going to ever be perfect? Okay, it's never going to be perfect because it involves two unique individuals with different backgrounds, experiences, emotions, parents, expectations. And for number one, people change over time. No one stays the same. We want everybody to grow and to have personal growth. Y'all hit the like button, please. Please hit the like button coming in. Personal growth, life experiences and circumstances, they change. Priorities change. Perspectives change. When you don't have little baby kids, your priorities change to what's important. When you haven't gotten any children, you and that husband may be the priority. But once you have a child, you guys aren't the important thing. It's the child that's the important thing. And sometimes this causes conflict. Well, you're not paying attention to me. You're not doing the things you used to do when we got married. Blah, blah, blah. Marriage is not going to be perfect because people change over time. People have unrealistic expectations about what a marriage is like. People have fairy tale idea about what it takes to be married. This is something I ran into the other day, and I run into it all the time. People say things are supposed to be like this. Well, okay, let's take for example, women are not supposed to get. Women are supposed to take care of pregnancy, and that's a solid. A lot of people believe it's all based on the woman. It's not all based on the woman. It's also based on the man and what he expects about his life. But I found a lot of men feel as though pregnancy is a woman's problem and it's not the man's problem. It's both of your problem. But when it comes to a man, you're supposed to think in terms of your individual person, not what she thinks. You base everything on your individual wants and needs. I found a lot of people have a lot of unexpected or unrealistic expectations. Many people go into marriage thinking it's going to be a fairy tale, only to find out it requires patience, consistency, promises, patience, grace. Your marriage is never going to be perfect because those are the things that you need to have in order for your relationship to move forward. People have communication problems. Even the most compatible couples the communication can lead to unrealistic and unmet expectations and needs. Nobody can read your mind. If you don't speak, if you don't communicate effectively, nobody will understand, not even your mate. Nobody is a mind reader. You have to express your thoughts and emotions effectively. And even if you do that, that still doesn't mean that you're going to make the marriage perfect. Please hit the like button, guys. Please hit the like button. There's a lot of pressures outside of marriage, too. Money, careers, children, experience, emotional baggage, prior relationship. Okay? Some of these things are unresolved. Please hit the like button. And they can surface at any time. Trauma can surface at any time. You never know. This can cause a lot of arguments, people's feelings being hurt, people being slighted. That's why marriage is never going to be perfect. One of the reasons why marriage is never going to be perfect. Loving somebody over time evolves. But the effort to keep that love and that relationship together is a consistent, everyday thing. The passion and excitement from the early days of a marriage fade over time. But it's supposed to make its way to a deeper understanding, a deeper, stable kind of love for you, in your relationship. But the reason why a lot of relationships fail is because they don't nurture that particular aspect of their relationship. They don't nurture the deep commitment, mature love over time. They don't nurture the relationship, and it can start to become routine or pedestrian, where people just come in, come out, they don't check in, they check out, and then nothing happens. And the relationship is devoid of feelings. And then you're like, I don't love that person anymore. Instead of practicing love every day. You got to practice love every day. Okay. And this is one of the worst ones. This is one of the worst reasons why a relationship will not be perfect. It's not worst, but it's one of the main ones. People think you're not supposed to argue when you get married. People think you're not supposed to have conflict when you get married. I don't believe in I don't believe in you going to a strip club. You believe in going to the strip club. You don't believe in me going on vacation sometime with my girlfriends. I do. You don't believe that I should go, out for drinks with my girlfriend. I do. You see what I'm saying? Inherent things that may make a marriage not work. Conflict is inevitable. No two people are going to agree on anything at any given time, not always. Healthy marriages do not, healthy marriages or good marriages do not avoid conflict. They lean into conflict to understand their partner more, to have a deeper understanding of their partner more. They learn how to navigate those things constructively. Okay? Marriage is never perfect. It can be fulfilling. It can be meaningful. It can be resilient if people work at it. If both partners are committed to that growth. You have to have understanding, mutual respect. Be able to communicate at all times. I'm not saying everything is easy to say, but I'm saying you find a way to say it in that marriage. Hey, please hit the like button, guys. Please hit the like button, please. So the topic is, it won't be perfect, but how can you get as close to perfect as you can in a relationship, in a marriage? How can you get there? It's not about finding the perfect person. People think marriage is about finding the perfect. No, it's not. It's about two imperfect people working together, growing together, loving each other, navigating the conflict, navigating life as a team. Number one thing you have to do in order to get close to how you want a marriage to be is y'all have to be able to communicate with each other. You have to be open and honest about your thoughts, your feelings, your needs, your wants, your desires. You have to actively listen. And this is the hard one for me, because sometimes I listen to respond instead of listening to listen. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? People listen to respond and don't listen to hear. You have to actively listen without interruption and dismissing your partner's emotion, because it's a lot about anticipating what they're going to say. Don't anticipate. Stop anticipating. Learn to actively listen. Because a lot of people learn to anticipate. A lot of people anticipate. Learn to anticipate. Stop doing that. Address whatever issues or problems you have early, before resentment gets there. Before resentment gets there. Hi, Danny. Do that first. A lot of people don't actively listen, don't have an expectation about what someone is going to say. Listen to what they are saying. In a marriage, this is important. Be open and honest, actively listen, and address problems early. Excuse me. Actively look to make the emotional and the physical a connectedness and make it deeper. Okay? Learn to date each other. Keep dating each other. Don't let the romance that you had in the beginning fade out. If you brought her flowers on Saturday, continue to bring her flowers on Saturday. If you wrote him notes or love notes when you were romancing each other, continue to do those love notes. If you know he likes you to bring breakfast in bed on Saturday, continue to do that. Even if it's the hardest damn thing, continue to do it. Express the love for your partner the way they need to understand it. And the way to do that is to, and normally I wouldn't refer this, but you know that love languages thing. Figure out what your partner's love language is, and do that. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Because I'm not one of those people who you keep saying, I love you, love you, love you. My brain says, I don't believe you, I don't believe you, I don't believe you. You see what I'm saying? But that's a part of my self-sabotage, right? So in order for me to believe you, you have to do things for me. Like take the garbage out consistently. Make the bed consistently after I get out of it. Or just things for me. Run my bath water even though I didn't ask you to do it. Pay something and I didn't ask you to do it. Without having an expectation. Without having an expectation of me saying, hey, thank you, oh, thank you. Do it because you know I want it or need it to be done. Just my brain saying, when you say I love you, my brain doesn't work like that. My brain says I don't believe you. Right. We should be PhDs in our spouses and willing to continue to learn all things. That's correct. That's correct. Don't neglect the physical part of your relationship. Try to at least have a sexual relationship with your partner all week. Not every day, but at least a touch. A sexual suggestion. Sex. Woo! BJ's. Woo! Right? Cultivate that physical and that emotional intimacy. You got to respect. This is one of the most important. You got to respect. You got to support each other. Now respect each other and support each other, right? You got to appreciate the challenges, their strengths, the differences between the people, between each other. Encourage that personal growth. Encourage career goals, individual passions, all of that. Disagreements with respect. Don't call people out of their name. Don't stonewall. Don't blame. Don't gaslight. Don't do any of those things. Please hit the like button coming in, guys. Hit the like button. Respect and support each other. This is how you make your relationship better. Learn to handle those conflicts and those arguments constructively. You can agree to disagree, but not if there's still conflict going on. You got to resolve it and agree to do. Like two people, like for example, I can be a Democrat and you can be a Republican. I can live with you. I can live with you as a Republican. I can live with you. You got to be able to live with me and respect my viewpoints too as well. You can live with me and I can live with you. See, I can live with anybody because I accept people's flaws regardless of, I accept them. Not red flags, flaws. Red flag. Like you leave the toilet seat up. That's a flaw. That's a flaw. There ain't no red flag. That's a flaw. And you being a Republican, that's a flaw. I can live with these things, right? Red flags are different. So I'm saying being able to accept a person for who they are when they walk through the door. That's very, very important. You got to apologize sincerely and forgive somebody genuinely off the bat, off the rip. Okay? These are things that have to happen in those relationships in order for them to work, in order for you to maintain those relationships. Learn to trust and be transparent. Keep the promises, do what you say, be faithful in all the ways that you need to be faithful. but you got to be able to share your thoughts and your concerns. I understand people get embarrassed. They don't want to explain anything. They don't want to share certain thing. I don't blah blah. I feel shitty. Blah blah blah. But this is why you got married. You got married to be able to share these things, to be open and transparent with another human being that you can't be with somebody else. You got to learn how to share your responsibilities and goals with other people, with another person. Work as a team when it comes to parenting. My parents, me and my husband, we automatically off the bat, we got in the room and we said, now that our kids are teenagers, it's me and you against them. When we got it, we decided when they turned a certain age, it's me and you against those damn kids. Don't ever conflict what I'm saying. Don't ever conflict what we saying. If we have a difference of opinion, we go in the room and we discuss it. And then we come out as a united front. Don't ever front me in front of the kid. I don't care whether they're your kids or my kid. Don't ever turn against me in the middle of an argument or in the middle of a decision making when it's me and you against the kids. Me and my husband decided that real early. We also decided that he would handle his family and I would handle mine. Any conflict that came up with your family, you handle. Any conflict that came up with my family, I handle. And you don't have no opinion about it, and I don't have no opinion about it. That's how we kept a part of our marriage together. I never had a discussion about him fighting with his mother or his sister. And he never had no problem with me fighting with my brothers and sisters and my mother and dad. Not that happened, but we never had any fights when it came to family. You handle yours, I handle mine. The kids, don't ever go against me with the kid. We decided early on. The kids are against us. We against the kids. Me and you got to agree on what's going on between me, the family. And then we talk to the kids, and you have a perspective of that. Don't front the kids off, and don't have the kids against me and you, making me and you fight. So that's another way that we had a united front in marriage. The kids, never. Me and you was always like this. Don't ever change that. So we also have to share our responsibilities and goal. We work as a team, parenting, make major decisions together. We both have to be on the same perspective. You may not like my perspective, but you agree it's the direction that we got to go, and vice versa. We set goals for the family, right? We set goals about, okay, dear, you want to be a doctor in 5 years, okay. So this is an example of a practical. Hold on. Had to turn the heat off. This is a practical example of goals in a family. My husband wanted to be a captain. He wanted to be a captain in the correctional facility. So he had to do certain things in order to be a captain in the facility, right? So he was like, I'm going to have to work more hours. I'm going to have to do blah, 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 right? And I said, okay, fine. This is what you need to do. I'm going to support you in that. I'm going to make sure the kids are in bed when they need to be in bed. When you come in at night at 11 o'clock night, make sure the kids are in bed. Make sure the kids' homework is done. Make sure the house is clean. Make sure you have food cooked so you can eat. Make sure I iron your uniform. Make sure you got your clothes together when you get ready for work. This is how I'm going to support you. How else do you need me to support you? Because you want to go from a sergeant to a captain. How can I support you in doing that? Right? And this is what I told him. I will make sure your uniforms are clean. I will make sure you got your shoes polished. I will make sure you ain't looking around for anything. I'll make sure you have the soap and the bars of soap and the towels and the what. I'll make sure everything is right there. And the only thing you got to do is get yourself in there and get yourself out and get to work. You don't have to worry about what's going on at home, because I will get that. I will hold that down for you. And this is the agreement we had. We agreed on the responsibilities and the goals in the family, so the pressure wouldn't be on him, and he could concentrate on being that captain that he wanted to be. Right. Another example. Hit the like button coming in, guys. Hit the like button coming in. Another example was I wanted to go back to school and get my master's degree, another master's degree. I wanted to go back to school and get another master's degree. And the only thing my husband said to me was, I will take care of the kids while you go back to school. That's the only thing he said to me. I will take care of the kids while you go back to school. And do you know that was such a relief? It was such a relief to me when he said that, because I had worried about what are the kids going to do while I'm gone. Can I really be gone for 3 hours of the day, 3 hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Can I really be gone, and can you handle the kid? He was like, I will take care of the kids. Don't worry about it. I will take care of the kids. And once he said that, I was very much relieved, because you don't know how, you always think of what things are going to be affected. And I knew the kids would be affected. He was like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And he took care of the kids while I went back to school. I never had to worry about the kids were fed, in the bed, sleep when I got home. And the same thing with him. He said, I wanted to be a captain at work. What can I do to help support you? And then I thought of things I could do to help support him. Make sure his uniform is clean. Make sure his shoes are where they need to be. Make sure he has clean socks. Make sure he has clean underwear. Make sure that I made sure, make sure he has food when he hit the door from work at 11 o'clock at night. These are the things you do to support the relationship. You work as a team. You work as a partner. Finances, household duties. We made major decisions together. You take care of your family, I take care of mine, and never the twain shall meet. I don't have no opinion about what you do with your family. You don't have an opinion about what I do with mine. And this is how our marriage survived. He was like, I ain't saying nothing. There was plenty of time when my family and I got into arguments and he was there, and he would sit right in the corner. My husband would sit in the corner and sit down and drink and eat his food, wouldn't say a word. Because he didn't have it, because our agreement was, you take care of your family, I take care of mine. And he never had no conflict with doing that. He was like, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm over here eating, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't got nothing to say. Right? So this is how we kept that marriage going. It wasn't perfect, but it was perfect for us. The kids, we never had a disagreement about the kids. We always, it's me and you. My husband would say, it's me and you against those damn kids. Whatever I say go, whatever you say go. If we have a conflict, we go in the room and we talk about it. And then we come out as a united front against these damn teenage kids. And this is how we made that family work. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button, guys. So another part of trying to keep your marriage close to where it's supposed to be and on track. Keep the romance alive. Keep the fun alive. Learn to laugh together. Learn to tell jokes together. Learn to do goofy things together. Experience stuff together. Okay? Do all these kind of things together. Me and my husband bought a Wii game. Y'all remember when this was before the internet really took off. It was a Wii game. It was a golf game, right? Me and my husband used to have challenges together with each other. Oh, no, Bubba, we finna get this game. It was a Wii game, and it was a golf game. And you could do it on your TV. And we would play that golf game. We would go bowling together. We would play the golf game together. We would do all kinds of things together. Even though we had opposite interests a lot, we did things together to make the marriage last, so we could be together. You know that golf game be on TV? You hit that damn thing, and you had to get it in the hole. Yeah, me and my husband used to love that, boy. And that Negro used to be at home. When I used to go to work, that Negro used to be practicing. So when I come home, he'd be whipping my ass when he come home, right? When I came home. But we used to play that together. Boy, we used to bet. Okay, you got a quarter. If you win, it's a quarter. But you know that. And then we would have to figure out. Well, once we had enough money, we would bet enough money. Whoever had the most money or whoever won the most money had to take the other person out to dinner or whatever on Friday, or buy dinner on Friday or whatever. This is how we kept the relationship and the romance going. We tried new experiences, new hobbies, bet each other money. We used to do all kinds of stuff. And this is how we kept close and our relationship close. But we also committed to growing together. Okay? We also committed to growing together. Right? He got sick. I was like, I ain't going nowhere, man. I ain't going nowhere. Where you think I'm going? I ain't going nowhere. And we was 20 years in. I ain't going nowhere. 20 years in. 23, 20. We 43. 44, 45, 23. I ain't going nowhere. Where you going? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Who the hell want grandma except grandpa? And vice versa. And we still making each other laugh. Marriage evolves. So do people. So be willing to adapt to another person. It's not about finding the perfect person to marry. That's what people don't get. And I find a lot of people on here, got to be perfect. You got to vet. You got to do, okay, you got to vet. But once you find a person that has at least 6 or 7 of those things that you want, you run with those 6 or 7 things. Stop worrying about whether she twerks on the internet. That can all change at the drop of a hat. I hate when you dance on the internet, hon. I hate that. And she either going to say, yeah, I get it, and stop doing it or not. Just because you see her on there with twerking pictures now don't mean she going to continue to do that. She could be the perfect person. You don't know until you go over there and you talk to her. But you got to also seek help when you need it. You got to look at books. You got to read books. You got to talk to people. There's all kinds of classes that can be taken offline. Your health department has classes. The hospital has class. There's all kinds of counseling things. If you don't think you can make it by yourself or you don't think you know everything, go to a counseling session. Go talk to someone. Sit down and talk to a whole bunch of women. Not on the line, online. I'm talking about physically go and talk to these people, touch these people. If you think you have a drinking problem or a drug problem or anything like that, go talk to somebody before it gets out of hand, before it destroys and blows up your marriage. Please hit the like button, guy. Please hit the like button. Seek help when you need it. Journal. Learn to talk to yourself. I learned to journal. And thank God my husband wasn't way over here or way over there. He was a down the middle of the road kind of guy. Tell me, he would say, HQ, tell me whatever is going on, and I'll listen and I'll talk to you. God only knows who sent me this man, who sent me this human being to accept HQ for all the dingy, goofy shit that I think and do and feel. But this man, and to accept 2 kids too, this man walked in and said, I'm going to accept you, for the goofy shit that you say and do. But I'm going to stay because this is where I think I can be most happy. Right? This is where I think I can be most happy. And you have to choose your person every day. Even when things are not perfect, you still choose that person every day. Okay? No marriage is ever going to be perfect. It's always going to have challenges, but you got to choose the person every day. If they're not all the way over here and all the way over here with their thought process, and they're down the middle with their thought process, you can work with a person like that. You can work with a person like that as long as you keep having that mutual respect, but it comes from having the initial respect of another human being. You have women, you have to respect the men, and men, you have to respect all women, and vice versa. You got to respect them. I don't care what they do. I don't care whether she's a prostitute. I don't care whether she twerks on the internet. You still have to be a person that respects human beings. And when you don't respect human beings, that's when we have a problem. Every time you turn around, all of those chicks are hoes. That's not how that works. No woman wants to go over there when she hears a man say that. No woman. And vice versa. All those men ain't shit ish. No man wants to go over there when he hears that from a woman. I mean, a marriage can be deeply fulfilling if you're willing to compromise with another human being and love another human being through their flaws. People have flaws. Flaws are different from red flags. A flaw is you don't know how to put the toilet seat down. Flaw is you gas runs out of your car and you forget to put gas in the car. Flaws are you don't know how to cook everything good. You know how to cook, but some of your shit tastes like ish. That's a flaw. A red flag is different. A red flag is something that you run away from. You don't run away from a woman because she doesn't know how to cook. You can always learn how to cook. You can always learn how to do things. That's not a red flag. That's just a flaw. And people can learn to get over those flaws. Flags are totally different. Okay? And I'm saying to you, no marriage is going to be perfect. Oh, hell no. It's not perfect. Me and my husband, as I explained to someone, I had a conversation with them a while back. And I said, when my husband and I first got married, he didn't realize that he realized I was a good person. He realized I was a good person. But he didn't realize that I didn't deal with conflict the way he dealt with conflict. He was a sergeant in a prison. So he was used to dealing with people like rah 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 rah, right? He was used to dealing with people like that. I was used to dealing with people as a social worker, going very close to the person, asking about how do you feel, what's going on, can we blah, blah, blah. I was more of that person. He didn't realize that he was pushing me away when he would rah, 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 rah about his job. And I realized in the middle of him doing it, once he stopped me from running, because I would always run. Once he stopped me from running and said, why are you running? Why do you continue to run? This is a marriage. What are you doing? I realized I was a runner. I realized I was a person who only wanted to see good things in a relationship. And it was difficult for me to see the different things. And he was used to seeing the bad things, or used to the bad things. And so he attacked the problems like they were all the bad things. And we had to learn each other's love language. We had to learn that, that we were different people like that. He had to learn that I was not a boisterous, rah-rah person. I was more of, you need to communicate with me and not be mean when you communicate. And he had to learn that he couldn't be a monster when it came to talking to me, because I would tune out. And I have to actively tune in when a person approaches me in the wrong way. And you got to learn your love language. You got to learn how you address conflict, because a lot of people don't know that they are rah, rah, rah. And a lot of people don't know that they tune out. And you have to learn how you perceive and receive conflict in relationships. And I think this is a part of that marriage thing when people say, well, he was mean to me, or I couldn't understand, or I, da, 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 certain. You have to learn how to accept what they are and be able to navigate uh, the way they come to you, because you're looking to keep this relationship long term. You're learning to live with the nuances and the subtleties of that person. If you don't learn to live with the nuances and subtleties of that person, that marriage is never going to last. You cannot be stuck in your ways when it comes to marriage too. Because when you say, I won't accept blah, 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 that's the minute things start going to the left. Because you're going to think you're going to be stuck on that particular point. And you're never going to get past that particular point, because you're always going to have that resentment for that person. And I said to myself, I'm never going to be one of those people that won't understand flaws, understanding flaws, not red flags and flaws. Different thing. Hit the like button coming in, guy. Hit the like button, please. So I'm saying marriage is never going to be perfect. Excuse me, I got a cold. Love has to be amiable. People change over time. Don't have unrealistic expectations. Learn to navigate the communication problems that people have. Learn what your triggers are. You got to learn what your triggers are. In order to fix yourself, you have to learn what those triggers are. Whether that means going to counseling, whether that means journaling, whether that means talking out. There's all kinds of help for marriage these days. Your local hospital has groups. Your local health department has groups. Your local city has groups. They have groups in which you can go and speak to people and get help. And a lot of people need help these days because they're online looking for help. They're online looking for answers. Stop looking for answers all online. Look for some answers in your city. People who live in your community. People who understand your community issues, your community problems. A lot of people have triggers from their parents, from past relationships. Address those before you get into other ones, into other relationships. Remember that love is ever changing. It's an effort. It's an effort to keep it the way it is. It's an effort to love somebody every day. You choose to love this person every day. Through the wrinkles, through the fat, through all of those things. And when you learn to love somebody through those things, you become a better human being. You become a better human being. I'm not saying, oh shit, she had 4 kids and she blowed out. What I am saying is that's your wife. Before she gets bigger, help her. Before he gets bigger, help him. Don't just let them continue to get big. Help them. How can I help you? I want to help you. Do you think we need to live a healthier lifestyle? Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do that. Let's try it. Let's try. You want to be on a healthier lifestyle? So do I. You're gaining a little bit of weight. I see that. Let's see if we can stop that, or we can help that, or we can mitigate that. Okay? Learn your triggers. Learn what triggers you. Learn what makes you angry. Learn what makes you happy. But one thing you got to understand, having conflict is going to be inevitable. You cannot avoid it. No marriage is going to be perfect. It can be fulfilling, meaningful. It can last. It can be resilient. It can continue to grow if you have an understanding, if you're and respect, and if you are willing to be in this relationship for the betterment of you both, not just for you. I hear a lot of men say, women are selfish. They don't think of nobody but themselves. Yes, we do. We think of our marriage. We think of we think in a team atmosphere. We have to be happy just like you have to be happy. An unhappy individual can't make anybody else happy. An unhappy individual cannot make anyone happy. Think about that. If I'm unhappy, how can I make you happy? Because I'm coming from a place of damage and trauma, right? If you come from a place of damage and trauma, how can you help another human being be happy? That's why I say you have to fix yourself. And whole human beings have to go into marriages fully as adults. And if you're not in that marriage as a fully functioning adult, get some help. I used to love go to counseling sessions. I used to love it. I love going and talking to people about stuff, telling people about what's going on, how I feel better about myself, how I can make my relationship better, how I can make my husband better, how I can make my husband happier. I used to love going and getting those ideas from people. There are classes and all kinds of that. Go to your local hospital and look what kind of classes and things that they have. Your local health department, go and look at what kind of counseling sessions they got, what kind of counseling sessions you can have regarding parenting, regarding marriage, regarding making yourself happy. Okay? Part of making a marriage last for a long time is making sure that if my glass is half empty, how am I going to fill your glass without making my glass empty? I can't. You understand that analogy? If my glass is only half full, I cannot pour into you because then I will be empty. So it has to be that you're full. And making yourself full means journaling, counseling, classes, early in your relationship. If you're having conflict, don't focus on what he or she is doing. Focus on what you can do for yourself. Yes. Sometimes two people just can't make it work. I'm not saying every person can make it work. I'm saying it's possible. And I hate that you were divorced. I think that's a very traumatic experience that people go through divorced. Fighting, conflict all the time. Nobody knows how to resolve anything. Nobody knows how to talk. Nobody knows how to say I'm sorry. I mean, working through that it's a life-changing experience going through a divorce. And people think it's easy. No, it's not easy. I get it. I do. Right? So I'm saying once you're in the middle and you're committed, you learn not to speak everything that you want to say in the tone that you may be used to saying it, and it's terribly received, right? I had to figure out how my husband spoke to me, right? He was used to being very blunt. Like he would say, can I get a shot of ass? Everybody knows what that means. Can I get a shot of ass? Because I am the person that I am, it offended me when we first were married. I was like, really? You can't, really? That's the way, yeah. Really? That's the way you're going to talk to me? And I had to realize that was the way he was used to talking because he was a correctional officer. He was used to being very direct that way. And I was like, really? I don't know if I respond right with that, right? Although I understand what you're saying, And then he was like, I am who I am. And then I had to realize, that That was, he wasn't trying to be ignorant or mean. That's just the way his communication style was. So I had to learn his communication style. He was a rah, rah, rah. And I'm more of a type person. So I'm saying, get the man what he wants. So I'm saying, marriage can be beautiful. It can be beautiful. I'm not one of those people that function outside of it, outside of marriage well. I can function well, but a lot of us realize early that we function better when we're married. So I stayed married because I liked the way I was in the marriage. I liked the way that he treated me in the marriage. I liked the way I was. I liked the person I was when I was married. And some people understand if you like the person that you are. But see, this came from me when I was younger. I went to a lot of counseling classes. I read a lot of books. I journaled a lot. I like to go to counseling classes. I like to talk to people, not necessarily about marriage, but I was able to express myself. You know what I'm saying? I was able to articulate myself early. So it wasn't difficult to do that in a marriage. And so therefore, when I went into the marriage, I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can be upfront. I can be honest with this person, and I can communicate just like this. But he was different. So I had to learn him, right? I had to learn him, and he had to learn me, right? That I turned off. I turn off if you approach me wrongly. And I had to learn that he is the way he is, and to accept that. And a lot of people, I don't think they accept, okay, people the way they walk into the door. And this is the problem with marriages. People think marriage is supposed to be perfect. It is never going to be perfect. You're going to have, because of the way social media portrays marriage, the way communication is off, how your expectation of what it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to be. And people are unprepared to be wives and husbands. And most importantly, real life challenges that come up in relationships. Money. Who the hell expects to be poor? And it's two of us. I know that's one of the number one. Why we poor and there's two of us working? It's because y'all not working together for one common goal. You working individually, and you're not working together. Stress, work life, right? Parenting, creating all kinds of obstacles in your relationship. These are the things that you're not ready for. But I'm saying there's classes, all of these things. Please take advantage of the classes, the seminars. Whenever there's a seminar or class, just pop in and see what people got to say about being married, about the expectations, about the changing roles in a marriage. And I always say traditional marriage, we don't have those anymore. Sometimes you can't, they're not all traditional. And it's a mixture of modern and traditional, and we have to change with the times. Because I'm a modern day woman, but I believe in cooking, cleaning, blah, blah, blah. I believe in all of those things. I believe in all of those things. But I also believe that I have to work in order for us to be double the pleasure, double the fun. Have a good life. Be able to provide for the children. Be able to provide a better life for the child that I bring into the world. Have both perspectives in the house. A man's perspective. I never, ever wanted my 4 daughters to grow up in a house without a man. To have his covering. Okay? To have his covering, to have his strength, to have his understanding, to have his guidance. And to this day, my daughters say, man, I miss Dad, because Dad would know blah, blah, blah. or dad would do blah, blah, blah. Or I wouldn't have to worry about blah, 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 right? So these are the things that I'm going to portray. These are the things that I like to take or like to put out there for people. Our marriage was not perfect, but we accepted the things that were different about us. We accepted the things that were different about us. And we moved forward, okay? No marriage is ever going to be perfect, but we can get as close as we can to it by being understanding that conflict is going to happen, real life obstacles that are going to happen, the destruction of the social media to marriage, the changing roles that we have in relationship, all of these things. And this is a wife lesson from HQ. I will be back again during the week maybe to bring another lesson. But thank you all for tuning in. Please hit the like button going out. Please hit the like button going in. However you want to do, go back and listen to the stream. Thank you very much for being there, guys. I love you. We're going to have some more information. We're going to partake of marriage and examples, counseling, seminars, groups, all of those things. If you're struggling with the marriage, struggling with getting married, wanting to get married, I encourage all of those things. And this is HQ. This is Wife Code with HQ. Thank you, guys. I don't know how to turn it